What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. It is, of course, Super Bowl Sunday. Don't care. Eagles aren't playing. I'll be watching, trying to win some money, but I'm so annoyed by this day. But yeah, I'll be tuning in. But we've got some Eagles news, of course, on Super Bowl Sunday. They have to make it about themselves and, well, give us some news that has the masses going insane. So we're going to break it down here today. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you're having a great weekend, ready for the game tonight, ready to see our Eagles next year back in this game. But I hope you're all taking care out there and love to hear your thoughts. But I'll break it all down for you, explain it. I know the media, other content creators, and fans are going to get people riled up, losing their minds. I already see it and see the comments. I'm doing my best here. And you know, I knew today something was going to happen, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. And sure enough, they did. So got home, made this as quick as I possibly could. You know, for every single piece of news that the Eagles have, I will make a breakdown video for you. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And again, cannot thank you enough for tuning in, hitting the like button, subscribing, all the things you're doing to support the channel. But I'm going to break it all down to you, what it means, why this news is coming out. Is he really going to be traded? A lot of confusion out there always. So I come with those facts, and I'm going to show you the contract details, some of the top edge rushers out there, who we've got on the current roster at edge rusher, our depth chart, and the role that Haason Reddick plays in Vic Fangio's defense, and all the things you need to know. I'm going to break it down for you. So let's effing go, baby. Appreciate you tuning in. You and my man, B-Walk, let's go. Hope you guys are all having yourselves a great weekend. And Rob, my man, hope you're doing well. And maybe trade Reddick. Yeah, you're going to hear all of those rumors. We're going to be trading for every all-pro this offseason and shedding some money. Well, not so much. Brian Burns replacing Headache. No, this is not about trading for anybody else. So that's what we're going to get into right here. You're going to hear the media. We're trading for everyone. This is, they're going to create whatever narratives they can for clicks. I'm just going to be here. I know the facts aren't for everybody, but that's what I'm bringing here today. So let's break it all down, ladies and gentlemen. Get this bad boy started here with, well, the news itself. So he has been permitted to seek a trade. So if you watch this show, you know I keep you up to date with everything. And we talked about the fact that Haason Reddick is coming up on a contract year. So right here, you can see Ian Rappaport is reporting here that he did receive that permission. He's 29 years old, so going to be 30 this year. We've been talking about this for a while. Look, you could try to restructure that contract, save a little bit of cap space, because that cap hit this year is going to be massive, and you don't want that. So he wants new money. Is he going to get it this year? We talked about the reason we drafted Nolan Smith to hopefully be his replacement. I just really have felt like this is either going to be his last year or he's going to be traded this year. And that's something I've told you guys over and over again, so that when this moment came, nobody had to freak out, lose their mind. And you know, Howie Roseman is a very smart guy and the best GM in the NFL. He knows what he's doing. So Haason Reddick wants that top money, right? Well, let's put him on the market. Let's see what people are willing to give up for him. And then we'll see, you know, is it worth it to pay you this much? Are you, you know, receiving offers like you're a top 5, top 10 kind of guy? So all of these things matter. But we want to test out right now, you know, if we're not giving him that money, what could we get in return for him? So let's take a look at this very important information here. And first off, Haason Reddick's contract. So talk about that $21 million cap hit. You don't want that. 1 year remaining, 29 years old, as I mentioned. And you see, you could save some money by restructuring, extending him. But again, this guy's 30 years old. You know how much emphasis we put on the line, but we'd like to have homegrown talent. When we traded for him, we knew it could probably be for only those few years he had on his contract, if that. So we draft Nolan Smith. You hope that he continues to develop. You know they'll be looking in free agency and the draft. So look, this is just an unfortunate part of the game. But let's take a look at his money, because this is very important. So you see, the numbers are the same for cutting and trading when it's pre-June 1st or post-June 1st. So you see, anything that's happening before June 1st, you are losing ass loads of money here. The dead cap is over $20 million, and you're only saving 1.2. So you're taking on $19.5 million of a cap hit to get rid of him. So you would have to really be getting something in return to do that. Pre-draft, June 1st, all that stuff. Now, if you wait till after June 1st, you have drafted someone, you have already signed someone, then this becomes much more feasible. You look at the cap saved $16 million, and you're only taking on $5.8 million dead money. So you save over $10 million in cap there. So that is a move we have talked about. You guys saw the show a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, but sicko season has been in full effect. And you know that the Eagles could be looking to save some money, and that being in the form of Haason Reddick. Now, he has been balling out 4 years in a row, 10 plus sacks. He's had at like 16 the year before this. Now, he only had like 10 last year, but this old defense sucked ass. So he's been tearing it up. Love what he's been able to do. Love the player, hometown kid. So excited to have him here. But this is the business side, and this is very important. And a lot of people get emotional, hate, these numbers and the facts that I bring, but I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I am just trying to show you how things work, because it's very important when talking about this stuff. Now, what's very important is the fact that he wants to be paid top edge money. Now, this is the top 10 guys. Right now, he's sitting at number 18, making about 15 mil per year. This is the average per year that these guys are making. So he wants to be top 10. That means over $20 million per year. So he wants another contract. And look, the dude's balling out. You can't blame him for that. But let's be real. The Eagles are not going to do that. I don't think that is within the cards. Now, if he sees he doesn't want to go somewhere else, you test the waters, all that great stuff. He doesn't know that he'll be getting, paid anywhere. Talks to some teams, what they'll be willing to give him in a new contract if they trade for him. You figure all those things out, and maybe he's just willing to restructure. Maybe things become easier for the Eagles there. But you've also got Josh Sweat, somebody I mentioned, during that show, also in his final year. So you're going to have to pay one of these guys, or maybe none of these guys, after this year. So why not, instead of just letting them walk, try to get something in return? Now, having him this year would be great, so that we can continue to develop Nolan Smith, because, as I said last year, just not ready, needs that time. So you're hopeful he's developed more this year and ready to go, especially if you get rid of somebody. But look, it's not necessarily about that we need the money or anything, because right now we're sitting at over 20 mil in cap space. And then 2025, you've got 23 mil. Then you've got over 69 mil. So you've got money. You could spread money around, but it's just, do you want to do that for a 30-year-old player when you know you're going to be looking in free agency, the draft, and you could get younger and maybe not have to pay as much if you just create another one of those contracts with those dummy years added on for someone else? So it's all very possible here. And you can see with that money that, look, it's not about that. We've got money. I showed you during that show where you've already seen Haason Reddick's money there. I showed you how we could create up to $40 million in cap space. So it's not about money. We don't need that. It's about the fact that he wants money, and I don't know that we're going to be the team to give it to him. So it's an unfortunate part of this business. And I love this dude. And, you talk about it, okay, yeah, you want to get something in return rather than letting him walk. But again, I want to win this year. So you're looking at, Vic Fangio coming in. We're going to look at what his role is here in a sec. But let's just talk about who we've got right now. So you're looking at 7 dudes right now that are on this roster. The guys in green are the reserve future signings that we made. So Teron Jackson, Terrell Lewis, Brandon Smith. And I mentioned this during the show when we talked about these guys. Lewis and Smith, to me, they are edge rushers. They are those tweener outside linebackers, can play defensive end. They will do that in this system. So beyond that, still on the roster were Reddick, Sweat, Smith, and Johnson. So if you get rid of Reddick, pretty slim pickings there with Sweat and Smith as your guys. Now, would love to see Brandon Graham come back off of, free agency there, but he's 36 years old, so he's going to be a depth piece. So again, Smith would be thrown into the starting spot. Maybe you go out, you sign somebody, you draft somebody. Don't worry, that free agent series is getting started this upcoming week, so pumped up about that. We'll talk about edge rushers, everybody. So stay tuned for that. We go through each position, but look, you could definitely use edge rushers. We already talked about that. I would already add to this room, but if you're getting rid of them, you definitely want to. And, looking at this depth chart here, we talk about the importance, those 5-man fronts, the 4-man fronts, the edge rushers, they're listed at right here. You can see I have the 5-man front depth chart, 12 starters totals here, just so you can see with the nickel corner and with 5-man fronts what it looks like. But you see those edge rushing guys, the outside linebackers, the defensive ends. They could be labeled as either in these multiple schemes. So go check out that video of the defense if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. But you see, yeah, there's some depth there, but beyond Reddick and Sweat, it's like, oh, Lord, because if you let Sweat walk then next year, very intriguing. But keep in mind, we've still got the draft coming up. We've got free agency, and all this means is they are allowing Haason Reddick to test those waters. And within that, they get to find out for themselves what the market is really like for someone like Haason Reddick. What are people asking for? And again, I would wait till after June 1st, because then you know who you've drafted, who you've signed, and that money becomes actually favorable to the Eagles rather than, hindering them. So, one of the important things is Haason Reddick, when we got him, Jonathan Gannon, he was trying to run these multiple schemes that Vic Fangio, of that tree, not the same defense, but how important it was to have one of those outside linebackers, those edge rushers that can be that tweener type guy. And that is exactly who Haason Reddick is, playing that Sam. Will can do anything. And, when talking about this base defense, everybody's going to say 3-4. And go check out that show. I'll post it down in the comments. But I break down how this defense works and really, a 5-2 base and how important it is to be able to play either side. It's left to right with this defense. It's not about one guy being the Sam, one being the Will. They have to be interchangeable here. So, you talk about the importance there of this edge rusher. Yeah, he's going to drop into coverage maybe once or twice every couple of games, but that's just part of the disguise of this defense. So you need to be athletic, and this is the perfect guy for this role. So we talked about how important he is, and you can see, in the nickel package as well. And I've got their depth, and we talked about, obviously, I will upgrade this as it goes, but this penny package, you'll hopefully see more of. Wanted to see it last year. This defense just sucked last year. So with these pieces we do have, and this is without free agency in the draft yet, I'm very excited about what we have. But if you lose Reddick, man, we talked about how important this edge rush is, man. I need it. I need it desperately. And obviously that 4-2, when you're going to 4-man fronts, he becomes that defensive end. And I really, whether his hand is in the dirt, standing up, this dude wreaks havoc. And I love this man. And I really think that it would be unfortunate to see him go. But as I just explained throughout this entire show, all of those things are very, very important to understand about the business side of things. And that's just unfortunately, why I do these shows every year before any of this stuff even begins. So that way nobody's losing their mind. They don't get caught up with the media having everybody freaking out here. So, yeah, but you see, that is me breaking it all down for you. Going to jump over here to the comments, see what you guys have to say. But let me hear your thoughts before I get rolling out here in a few minutes. Thank God you came on here so I can get a true balance. Yo, it's truly my pleasure. And I know a lot of content creators are probably waiting for this show, but my apologies. I had a lot to do today, and I know you sickos were waiting. And you guys always know there's going to be a video no matter what. So, depending on when or where I'm at, it might take an extra minute or two, but you're always going to get these breakdowns on real news. Now, if it's something somebody makes up, I'm not going out of my way to go crazy for it, but I always enjoy breaking this stuff down for you guys. So that way, we can go against the stupid stuff people put out there. But Howie, this is, as I just mentioned there throughout this video, that's just Howie doing his thing there. So, don't go too far from anybody. Go. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with him here. But, obviously you would want to get something in return. And I would hope at least like a second rounder thrown in there. But who knows at this point, because the team that trades for him is going to have to pay him as well. So not only that's going to have to be part of the discussion. Look, yeah, I know he's good enough. You could get this second rounder, but I've got to pay him this. So we're going to give you this third rounder. Maybe we include an edge rusher in there that, drops the pick down a little bit. So a lot of stuff goes into that. Was going to be his replacement. And no, it's going to be, yeah, well, that was the hope when you drafted him, and you don't know if that's the case, but I would like to see a little bit what he looks like, what you do in the draft, what you do in free agency. This just gives him a head start, gives Howie and everybody a head start as to, talking to other teams, just getting that information you need to. This is what you're worth, man. We could restructure you. You could finish up the season here. And look, at the same time, they might want to trade him because, again, maybe they want to get something in return. They feel Nolan's ready. They've drafted somebody, they signed somebody, traded for somebody. All that stuff is very possible. So, but yeah, he's pretty good. And if they're not on notice as to who he is, that's just people that don't know football. He's been one of the top guys in the league. And King Leo, I make these shows for a reason. And, if you guys, ever miss anything, I always post this stuff. But, I know a lot of people find, all these facts and things pointless. But that's why we talk about this stuff in advance so that when it happens, nobody's surprised by it. But look, man, I know you sickos enjoy this stuff, and I know you were happy to talk about this throughout this offseason so far. But no, that's not it at all. It's all those things that I was just explaining throughout this video here. 11, yeah, no doubt. Reddick doesn't cover or run stop well. Well, he's okay against the run, and he's pretty good at coverage for an edge rusher because he's an edge rusher. He's not supposed to be really covering people. All for training. Yeah, everybody's going to talk about Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons, any All-Pro or Pro Bowler that's ever, played under any of our coaches. You'll hear about them the entire offseason. It's the end of the season, they'll make super splash, quarterback. Yeah, you're going to hear everyone say that, man. That's going to be repeated by a lot of people for sure. And you guys know we talked about all that last year. I love Patrick Surtain, Justin Simmons. That's why I broke down how their contracts work last season and why I would go get them. But yeah, getting coaches that are familiar with players is always a help. I know a lot of Eagles fans hate when, the players or coaches are friends or familiar with each other, but that's just how football works. And I wish they would learn that, but it is what it is. Nobody trying to put his faults now. Yeah, I don't know who's doing that. Who's up here saying that? Yo, my man Troy, appreciate you tuning in. And hopefully it continues to develop. We can only hope. So we knew when drafting him, he had a long ways to go. If you found a DN who covered well, stop the run and get a double sack, let me know. Yeah, exactly. He does perfect for exactly what he's supposed to do as that edge rusher. He contains well. He does pretty well for a run stopper the way he's supposed to. So that's just, you guys know this is year 4 of running this style defense. I try to explain what his role is and how these things work, but people get, I don't know, lost in translation. They prefer those clickbait articles. I don't know. I can't force anybody to learn this stuff, but I will continue to show you how this stuff works. So don't see the Eagles paying Reddick. Exactly. That's the whole point of the show there, my man. And I just, look, I'll continue to tell them. I don't know how. So I appreciate when you guys back me up. I sit here for months, years on end trying to relay information, and eventually people catch on and start repeating it. And it's like, yes, yes, that's what I meant when I said it. I love it. But I don't think they're trading him, but 30 mil is a lot. Yeah. Well, this is testing the market, man. That's exactly what was just talked about. If you guys have any thoughts on anything I didn't say there, let me know. I'm going to get rolling out here in a minute, but love to see the love being shared down here. This is what I'm talking about. Story sounds familiar from last year. Yes, this is exactly like Terry said. This is exactly like every year when I break this down. So if you guys tune in, you already know how this stuff works. You see me break it down every offseason. There's a reason I do these shows. Now, a lot of the content creators will steal my information, but they forget to add in all the stuff that's important. So I try to get people to watch. I don't know, man. You see the other content creators and media finally watching my show, learning how the cap works, stuff like that, because it's so important. I can't force it on anyone, and I'm not trying to, but this stuff is very important to understand. So I'll do my best to get people on board. Fines that wants to pay him before June 1st. So I'll have to wait until the Eagles input. Fines wants to pay him. Well, the Eagles will have to trade him. It's not up to him. He can't just get traded. The Eagles will have to trade him. So if they don't want to lose that money, it would have to be a pretty huge trade in return there to take on that dead money. Super Bowl doesn't mean nothing. Yeah, no doubt. That's why we're not even talking about. So Reddick so much. Understand the business. Yeah, man. I love a lot of players, but this is just an unfortunate side. That's why I always make those shows that I made a few weeks ago that keep you guys prepared for this stuff that's going to come. People on the trading block, people being restructured, extended. I always try to do my best to get that stuff out there. So let your Cox talking Steelers. He'll probably be asked a lot of questions about a lot of teams as a free agent. So, I'm sure he'll be talking about a lot of things. We can keep us on. Look, that's just an unfortunate part of the game. So you got to look, to get one of those dummy contracts we talk about, whether it's trading for somebody, signing for somebody, drafting somebody, like Nolan Smith last year to try to, and they did that a year in advance. They prepared for this. And I talked about it when we drafted him. This was coming this year, possibly. So if you guys watch the show, you know exactly what was coming here. No surprises to you sickos. And hey, that's what this show is about. And you heard me talk about this a month ago. That's just how things work. So look, the media will try to spin it whatever way they can. I will just literally stand in front of it and continue to show the facts. And people can be mad all they want, but literally just trying to help. So hey, hope you guys are, enjoying these facts throughout the years. For you sickos that do, I appreciate you. And you other content creators, don't be afraid to give a shout out to where you're getting this information when you tell everybody how you miraculously came up with this stuff. I'm happy to help, change the game here. And I've done pretty well the past few years. So we just got to keep convincing the media and other content creators and fans to learn how this stuff works and not to lose their mind. Everything's over. Trade out. Fire everyone. I can't do my voice. I guess I'm supposed to not talk crap today. Sorry, still a little under the weather. I don't usually take drinks and shows, but I'm still feeling it. It's been a tough week for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Over a week, to be real with you. But yes, I wasn't lying when I said that, man. All that business stuff I just explained there, that's exactly why, man. That's just part of the game. And I haven't been lying to you for years now, guys. When I break this stuff down, I truly mean it. When I make those shows, when sicko season begins, our season ends, unfortunately, I do those shows to let you know what's coming. And a lot of people, I don't have time to watch that stuff. I'm busy watching, the Kelsey brothers, making fun of people. That's cool, dude. I'm just saying, if people want to talk like experts or understand things like experts, they really should understand, basic things that I try to put out all the time. It's crazy to me. Find the right players who want to play in Philly. Yeah, and it's not really about Reddick wanting out. This is just the business side of it. Going young in the D-line, yeah, you're always going to want to get younger at every position. That's why we drafted Nolan Smith last year. These are all the things just went over here in the show here. So, look, this is just part of the game, and we talked about it when we got Nolan Smith last year. Reddick could be gone here. So we'll see. But, drafting those young guys last year gets you younger. Yes, indeed. Howie's going to continue to do what he does. Don't let those people get you, twisted up here. This is just how things literally work. And look, for years, I've been trying to get people to understand this kind of stuff, and everybody gets upset about it. It's like, dog, I'm just literally trying to help. So if this helped you, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. You can always subscribe. Always happy to talk some more birds with you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we'll see what, kind of contract the new team's trying to give them. All that kind of stuff that I mentioned throughout this video is very important to understanding. So, look, before we get into the parrot talk, you guys, if you missed any of that stuff, you can always go back, check it all out. You see all the information I just gave you that is very important to understanding this stuff. If you need anything, you have anything on your mind, you're watching this later, you can always comment down below. I know you sickos already knew all this information and been waiting to be talking about this. So, cannot thank you enough. But for anybody, out there that's confused, anything like that, feel free to, share this video. Let them know how this stuff works. Doing this for years, trying to get the media to really understand this stuff because it get people twisted up. So if you see any of them out there lying, making things up, make sure to send them in the right direction. But I hope you all enjoy your night. Enjoy whatever you're doing. We're not even going to talk about it, but next year, let's get back to this. That's what I'm talking about. But have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now, go Birds!